Assalamu alaikum, good morning. Mr. Principal, staff of UPS, those are on my right hand for 5 years, Bob said, who followed me at Old Boys College. I'm going to start my story in Lahore in 1954. I'm then going to take you to Dehradun, and then I'm going to come back to Peshawar. And I'm going to talk about Afghanistan, and I'm going to talk about the admissions of our boys to colleges. In 1954, Chu Enlai, Prime Minister of China, had come to Aitchison College. And I, with 100 others, were standing in the cricket ground, and they were in the pavilion, and Sir Firoz Khan Noon, an old boy of Aitchison, was the foreign minister. And Firoz Khan Noon went into ecstasy and started praising the contribution to his life that Aitchison College had made. And he said, I am what I am because of Aitchison College, and I am what I am because of Aitchison College. So Chu Enlai smiled and said, what have you given to Aitchison College? So Firoz Khan Noon, who was not the brightest of Aitchison students, said, I have sent my sons, and I have sent my nephews, and I have sent. He said, Chu Enlai smiled even like that. What have you given to Aitchison? So if the alumni of UPS is being formed, the first and only objective should be, what can you give? Right. And it's very important. It's very important. People here make excuses not to give because they feel that what they're giving, in fact, is too little or too meaningless. So I will now take you to Dehradun. In Dehradun, there is a school called Tune School, and it was founded by very distinguished English masters from Eton and Winchester in 1936. And one of the fundamental rules of Dehradun of Tune School is they will not accept a penny from government. So every year, boys who left the college or the school 25 years ago take charge of the Old Boys Association. And their primary function is to collect money for the school. Do you know how much they collect? 25 crores plus every year. And they also accept 5 rupees from those old boys who have not done well. And that is the lesson that I beseech you. I beseech the old boys that if 5 rupees is all that you can afford, please go through this motion of giving back. If you can give 100,000, give 100,000. Very important. It's very important that you actually put your hand into your pocket and give, even 5 rupees. It's the gesture is more important than the amount. Because once you get into the habit of sort of giving, it accumulates. We tried to collect. Now, I want to sort of talk to you a little with this thing about Aitchison College. My boys were very concerned about what was happening in Tharpata. So, they wore their uniforms, they went to all the shopping centers of Lahore, and within a week they collected 17 lakhs.
Very good.
And money is given to institutions if people believe that money will not be stolen and money will not be wasted. Waste is more important than theft in this country. So we talk about theft, we don't talk about waste because we all are involved in this waste. 17 lakhs were collected, 5 boys and a teacher sat in a van with a truck full of stuff and they went to Mitti. And I had been told by Javed Jabbar Sahab, who was looking after us there, that we would it would be nice to sort of give this stuff in committee. So I said, why? He said, because the media is there. I said, but I don't want the media. I want to give the stuff. And so they went into the interior, and the first thing they said, boys when they came back, every boy had to write a diary for me. And they came back and they said, the media is telling us lies. So, why is the media telling you lies? They are saying this is the new problem. This problem in that area is 100 years old. It's not going to be solved in the next 100 years. Having said that, even if it cannot be solved in 100 years, that fighting peak is very important. So please give that. If on the other hand, you sort of form, and no old boys association in fact is united, because every year or every 5 years there's a different picture and a different set of memories about the school. If I can talk about UPS, if we talk about the first batch, we had problems about coming from boarding houses to here. Because we couldn't come on the front, because it was dangerous, so we used to come from the back. And there used to be one train a week, which in fact everybody wanted to jump on, etc. But that memory is there. Today's memory is completely different. So one has to respect other view also. And we all have only snapshots. One picture of what we took, what we remembered, what we were emotional about, what we were excited about, what we were depressed about, where did Hashim Khan spit his Naswan? You know, it was all sort of very important things that happened. So we have to know Alumni Association will be united. So be it. But each one can tackle a task. For example, we have an Old Boys Association at Aitchison. We also have groups of people who meet informally, who are not associated with the formal organization, who do not wish to be associated with the formal organization, but they do a lot of good work. For example, teachers have fallen into bad ways. They can't afford to live. They can't afford to pay for their medicine. They can't afford to pay for the education of their children. This group gets together and supports that. Very quietly, very informally, and very strongly. I, as principal, they write to me saying this is what we're doing. We had a group about a month ago of boys who left the school, I think 40 years ago. And boys came from America. And they brought their checkbooks. I think I then said, principal, can we give you some money? I said, what for? They need some. I said, I don't want any money to waste. When I make a plan, it's very easy to then spend it. I was once offered 25 crores of rupees by government. And I said to him, I said, Chalisa, what should I do with 25 crores? He said, no, Khan Sahib, at least I will be confident that it will not disappear. I said, I don't know how to spend 25 crores this year. I will waste it, so please don't give it to me. I didn't take it, and we don't take money from government. Aitchison College does not receive a penny from government. One of the things that Peshawar and I did was to get out of the clutches of government. That is a very important thing, and the Old Boys Association should be looking for the independence of the groups. Right? Your money will not sort it, but your influence will. Make this independent, give it some freedom, let it do some different exams. For example, I have two boys from North Waziristan who came to me in E1, which is the equivalent of class 6. They couldn't speak English, they could hardly speak Urdu, they were damn good in maths. They were 2 years ahead. And they are my scholars, not my scholarship. I don't have any scholarships. There is no charity at Aitchison. You have to be able. So they came. I saw them the other day. We have the biggest French program in Pakistan, and 700 boys actually learn and speak French in school. And so these two boys, one of them did the tilawat, and he translated the tilawat into French. Have you ever heard the Quran in Pakistan being translated into French? The French ambassador heard it, and he put more resources into the school. Please remember, people are desperate to give to us. We have a very poor reputation. One, in terms of honesty, and two, in terms of the skills of management. Where will this money go? So please be very careful. Please be very careful about how you manage this money. Harvard University has $1 billion in endowment funds. We are planning that anybody who's admitted to Aitchison College in 2 years' time, if he can't pay, it won't bother us. We will pay. Anybody who is good enough. We have a bursary scheme by which if a boy, in fact, works very hard and does very well and things like that, they can apply. And we give the freedom to the parent if they want to take the money on. And 50% don't. But it's become a great matter of honor to become a bursary winner at Aitchison. Please don't look for unity amongst your alumni. Please look for the people and try and serve the people who looked after you while you were there. There might be people, in fact, who are not doing well. There might be people who are ill. There might be people who are lonely. But we have a major called Major Jeffrey Langlands, who served out in Waziristan and then served out in Chitral. And he's 96 years old, and he is the guest of Aitchison College, and he is a master in residence. He is an angel, and he came to the school in 1954, and a very interesting man, and a very kind man, whose whole career was spent by never scolding anyone. And there are two students there. In fact, his master there was. He was. Okay. So, now, we need to look after people like that. He has 2 Sitara in Calabas. He has been decorated by Britain, but he wanted to live in Aitchison. He lives in Aitchison. And I'm sure there are people here, I can't remember who, I don't know, but if there are people like this around, then please help them. Now, I think the person who was presenting the show said that we will not be relating to the school and the administration of the school. We had a teacher called Miss Bukhari who had served the college for many, many years. She was headmistress of the junior school. And a very nice person. And she got terribly ill. And so I had to replace her. And when I was trying to replace her, one of the richest men in the hall said to me, he said, Principal, I think Miss Bukhari should stay in Aitchison College. And I said, Mr. Mani, you have at least 25 bedrooms in your house. Why don't you let her stay with you? The point I'm making here is, we are extremely generous with other people's money. No. If you want to give yourself. So those are the ideas. I come back to UPS now in 1967 to 1972. And I'll tell you one lovely story of Shaistan Kaka. Shaistan looked after my office. in Rajasthan, was a very honest, upright man. He in fact invested some money and he looked after, we bought buffaloes for him, and then he arranged for the boys to get very good quality milk, which he delivered himself. And then we sort of tried to organize things and make it sort of impersonal and remove discretionary powers, etc., etc. He was felt very important opening my door. He used to make me the most beautiful cup of tea and bread and the most beautiful samosa. Always. And all of a sudden, the tea stopped and the samosa stopped. No samosa, no tea for one day. No samosa, no tea for another day. No samosa, no tea. So I said, Shashkata, the man khata. He said, I'm disgusted with you. I said, oh, why? He said, why have you brought this damn merit into the school? Merit seems to me that nobody respects me. Everybody goes through the open door. My whole authority has been disturbed. When there was no merit, or at least no talk of merit here, everybody said, चले जो की अगेर की दी क्लेशम का क्लेशम क्ले right? And now these are the things you have to worry about and think about. How does a change actually affect people in the organization? Never, I will not tell you because his language was very, very purple. But he could present his material in the most graphic way to me when there were fights between the bearers and the sweepers. But it was a very happy time. I was young, I had Dorjaman to look after me, and the last bit, in fact, was the admissions. 1 year, the matric boys told me, allow them to cheat in the exam. I said, no, we can't cheat. I said, everybody in the frontier cheats. They get more marks than us. And they get into Edwards College, and they get into SHAMIM College. We don't. I said, oh, we have a problem. Let me go and see Dr. Edmonds and Lorenza. So I went to him. I said, what do you say? He said, this both said. I said, all right. We'll admit your boys on your recommendation. Yes. Everybody who wanted to go went to my. Of course, the system didn't work because there was one boy that I had recommended for arts. The damn stupid boy got more marks and qualified for sciences. And Edmund wouldn't admit him. He said, bring the check. He said, so father came to me and he said, son, the boy came to the science say, the arts say. Allah name khalaq which is science. That's why I want my son. Now, if this is the level of knowledge, we are in big trouble in this process. One of the reasons Aitchison College goes by leaps and bounds forward is that most of my mothers are highly educated women. So there are books in the house, there's talk in the house, people think about things. I don't believe that if there are no, I believe that if there are no books in this house, in a house, that house is dying. You can have the largest television set, but you don't have to pay attention to it. But you have to read it. What I find depressing when I come back to Peshawar is that when I was here at the university, we had one university and 10 bookshops. Now we have 10 universities and no bookshops. And I think all of us have to take some responsibility. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much for asking me to come, and I've been very, very happy to come. Thank you.